Edges come in two forms. They come as borders or as boundaries. We know this distinction at the most elemental biological level between cell walls and cell membranes. A cell wall is a relatively rigid structure which is essentially trying to be simply a container. A cell membrane is more a structure. It's an edge which is more flexible and more open. A boundary is meant to mark a territory where interaction ends. Boundary, in other words, is to be a place where interaction diminishes. A border is a place where interaction between different species increases.
This train is the first Capital Connect service to Brighton.
Traffic walls which separate rich communities from poor communities. It's a border. There's meant to be no interaction. The border condition would be much more like a mixed-use street, right? Which lots of things are happening in the same place at the same time. There's lots of difference. There's lots of that bodily interaction. The boundary dominates the border. Boundary, we know how to make great boundary conditions, and we're very relatively uninterested or unskilled in making border conditions. The edge, an experience of the edge in which both porosity and resistance are enabled. What we as designers need to do is recover the border condition. That combination of porosity and resistance to bring more life into the physical environment. It's a challenge about porosity. I think that it's a technological challenge as well. But we're not thinking about materials quite in those terms. I mean, the sealed glass box has now had on a new lease in life in some versions of eco-friendly buildings, with heat exchangers and so on, which require this absolute, boundary condition, heat exchanger to work. So I think it's a big challenge for us as designers, how to find new techniques of making porosity.